achievements is an ongoing project, an ongoing effort. Yes, we celebrate our achievements, but we continue to work hard. And I want to thank you for coming out today to celebrate. It is my pleasure to preside at this wonderful occasion. Let me first welcome our Prime Minister to her own house. Our political leader of the Barbados Labour Party, Prime Minister of Barbados, and perhaps the most experienced member serving in Parliament at this time. I want to welcome the U.S. Ambassador to Barbados, U.S. Ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, Representative Barbara Lee, Representative Anita Coleman-Redderwagen, Representative American Samoa, Honorable Cynthia Ford, our Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly of Barbados. Just by setting some context as to why we're here and why we chose to do this. Barbados has had a parliament in operation since 1639. Before being closed for any day, it was open all day, even COVID. We may have gone online, but we were never offline. We were never off the job. So we are deeply steeped in democracy. We also have taken the opportunity to recognize our shortcomings, and we've improved on them. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our Deputy President of the Senate, now the Most Honorable, congratulations, Her Honor, Senator, the Most Honorable Ambassador Henrietta Elizabeth Thompson. And we have recognized that we've made some achievements. There have been things that haven't been quite right, and we celebrate those transformative moments. For example, those of you in the foyer, behind you is the bust of Sir Conrad Reeves, the first black member of Parliament and the first black Chief Justice of Barbados. We have if you go around the corner, what they call the Honor Wall. The members of Parliament from 1951. You may wonder why from 1951. That is the first year in which our Parliament, in its evolutionary history, became fully and truly democratic. All of the income and other qualifications that allowed you to vote were removed. So before 1951 elections, the electoral roll was about 30,000. And after the restrictions were lifted, the electoral roll was over 100,000. And the complexion of the Parliament changed in more ways than one. So we have recognized those MPs since 1951. Similarly, today, we will recognize someone who has made landmarks in their parliament. Not the Parliament of Barbados, although if she had remained in Barbados, I'm sure she would have been in the Parliament, and perhaps Prime Minister, she would have been the first female Prime Minister of Barbados. But that was not to be. She instead went to the United States, and she made significant contributions to the democracy and the Parliament of the United States. She was the first black woman elected to the Parliament. And of course, we know of our history in terms of the presidential elections and so on. So we thought it fitting that on the 100th anniversary of her birth, that we, in the tradition of our Parliament, where we celebrate important milestones to our Parliament and to the democracy generally, that we should pay respect to her. But we also want to celebrate Prime Minister and our guests, the fact that Barbados has and will continue, though small, out of generosity of our spirit, to give to other countries of the world, even those larger and more endowed. So George Washington was here before he became the president, to recuperate from an illness and perhaps to get some perspectives on life to allow him to be such a great leader. And we know of the history, of course, of our dear Shirley Chisholm. So this is why we're doing what we're doing. And it falls within our history of celebrating achievements on behalf of democracy in Barbados. But it's not my duty to speak. We, Speaker of the House of Assembly, President of the Senate, we do not speak. We keep the rules. So when you give us an opportunity to speak, we can get a little carried away, but not today. Not today. To give the welcome is our Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly of Barbados, Member of Parliament for St. Thomas, the Honourable Cynthia Ford. Cynthia?
A blessed good morning to all of you. The Honourable Member of the Senate, Leader of the Senate, is a little ahead of his time. I want to, this morning, acknowledge the presence of our Honourable Prime Minister, Mayor Amar Motley, Honorable Barbara Lee, Democrat, member of the House of Representatives and former aide to the late Shirley Chisholm. His Honor, the President of the Senate, Honorable Reginald Farley, Madam Elizabeth Thompson, who is the leader of Senate business in the Honorable Senate, members of Parliament, members of the Senate, specially invited guests, and their relatives and friends, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to you again. Good morning. Welcome to our Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, the third oldest in the Commonwealth, and this special ceremony today, where we are gathered to honor and pay tribute to the late Shirley Chisholm, whose roots are Barbadian. Today marks the centenary anniversary of Miss Chisholm's birth, and it is fitting that we are joined by our colleagues from the United States House of Representatives, where Miss Chisholm spent many years as the first Black female congresswoman, a trailblazer on the United States political scene. This ceremony also is to recognize her immeasurable contribution and her legacy. I now take the honor to invite the Honorable Representative Amata Coleman of the U.S. House of Representatives and former aide to the late Shirley Chisholm to deliver brief remarks. Honorable member.
Thank you so much for those wonderful, warm words. Talofa laba. We're here in honor of a remarkable and inspirational leader in Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm, an esteemed historic and American who loved and remembered her heritage from Barbados, the role of that heritage, and gained strength from time spent here in her life, including formative years in education and living with her grandmother here. I feel a connection with her in honoring a strong grandmother, something I relate to, as well as learning of her mother's hard work. All of these deep connections to Barbados helped make Shirley Chisholm the leader and inspiration she was, and no doubt had a part in directing her as she became a generational leader and did her work representing New York as well. We get to see her picture every time we pass that way in the United States Capitol. She is forever honored as a trailblazer for us as members of Congress. And when we stand in the Capitol, we stand where others help create a space and opportunity for all of us. So it's truly an honor to commemorate her and to be here today in Barbados for a sweet happy birthday to her memory and legacy. Thank you again to Leader Jeffries for putting this Codel together so we could take part in this special celebration. So ifua and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I should add that our Congressman is the ranking member. That's very important in the United States political system. It's my pleasure to invite Honorable Barbara Lee, who is a Democrat and from California, and she is obviously a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. I met the Honorable Barbara Lee just a few weeks ago in Miami. I was attending some training organized by Parliamericas on building the role of parliaments in building the new digital economy. And Honorable Barbara Lee flew it was either flying from New York to Miami to give the address, or flying from California to New York to Miami and then on to New York. But you know her schedule. So I'm really pleased that you've taken the time to fly to Barbados to join with us in this celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Honorable Barbara Lee, Democrat from California in the U.S. House of Representatives.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Prime Minister Motley, to our ambassadors, to all of our dignitaries, my colleague. It's truly a humbling moment and an honor for me to be here with you at this great 58th anniversary of your independence, but also to celebrate my mentor's 100th birthday. Just a couple of points I'd like to raise. First of all, Prime Minister Motley, Shirley Chisholm, I knew her well. She loved children, and listening to you this morning, I thought of Shirley Chisholm because I wasn't that young. I was about 25 when I met her. And I was a young woman raising two young little children, and she saw something in me that I did not know I had. And she encouraged me to register to vote, to get involved in politics. I went to Miami as a Shirley Chisholm delegate, and the rest is history. Because of Shirley Chisholm, I have 31 black women in the United States Congress. I was the 20th elected to Congress. First Congress went into session in 1789. Shirley Chisholm paved the way for the Barbadian spirit to be infused and incorporated in all of the work that women and that people who are fighting for justice and for equality and for equity, we all recognize Shirley Chisholm as the one from Barbados who has given us that spirit. And so I just want to say thank you. I want to recognize our leader, Hakeem Jeffries, and other members of the delegation who are here in Barbados honoring Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm, the late Honorable, as well as celebrating your 58th Independence Day. It is truly a remarkable moment to be able to witness the unveiling of this portrait. We unveiled a portrait of Shirley Chisholm in Washington, D.C. years ago, but not so long ago when she had not been recognized. We finally were able to pass a postage stamp. We were finally able to name post offices after her. And finally now, my brothers and sisters and members of the delegation and all of you, we will schedule now finally the Congressional Gold Medal to honor Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm next week in honor of our 100th birthday and the ties that bind between Barbados and the United States of America. Thank you again so much, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Just to keep you an update, the parade is passing Cheapside down the street. The Prime Minister has to take the salute on the outside. I invite her to give her brief remarks before unveiling the photo.
Thank you very much, and Representative Ralwagan, Representative Lee, ambassadors, members of the Barbados Parliament, all. This is a very proud day for me. To have Barbadian leadership shine on the global stage in the form of Shirley Chisholm was something that inspired all of us to believe that at a time when women were not seen and when black people had only just through the Voting Rights Act of 1965 came into their own, that she could emerge and do all that she did stands forever as a beacon. And the least that we can do as a grateful people who recognize that she saluted this country for raising her and giving her that spirit, that spunk to be able to say, if there's no chair, I'm bringing my folding chair, and to go where no one had gone before. And today we put her where no other person outside of the Parliament of Barbados has gone before. Previously, the Queen would have been here when we were constitutional monarchy, but other than that, there has been no photograph in this Parliament of any other person. So today, who has not been a member of this Parliament, and the bust of Sir Conrad Reeves is there. We did Dame Ermintrude Bourne and Dame Billy Billa and named this committee room after them. But today, we now go where we haven't gone before, and we honor Shirley Anita Chisholm for being the trailblazer and for carrying with her the spirit of Vauxhall, the spirit of Barbados, and to carry the world into areas where those messages are as relevant today as they were. Her work towards the minimum wages and all of the nutritional programs, all of the things that she did, we thank her and salute her. And may I invite Barbara to come with me now and to unveil this very modest tribute, but one that is profound and dear to our hearts, to Shirley Anita Chisholm. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Liz, very good.
Move the vote of thanks. With the parade descending on us, there is no time for long speeches. I therefore say that this is a historic moment when children of the African scatter come to the third oldest parliament in the Commonwealth to salute the centennial of a woman born in a small island developing state, showing two things: that size is not a bar to exceptionalism and excellence and high achievement, and that immigration has high value because it brings skills and talent and growth to the societies where the immigrants go. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of this moment. Thank you for recognizing that even though you are miles away across the water, we whisper our support as you do your work and as the battles ahead come, and clearly they're shaping up already. We are bound by ties that cannot be broken, and this is emblematic of it. Thank you so much for being here. Bless you all.